And I love how you say, like, if you would have known back then, you wouldn't have even believed it. So it's kind of like the journey itself is confirmation of where we are now. Peace, love, light, and life to all of those watching. I just want to welcome you to the Thoughts of an Empath podcast. This is your host, Steve St. Ville. It is a blessing and an honor to be here with you today as we have a very special guest joining us this afternoon, Mr. Clark Valery. How you feeling, my brother? How you feeling?
Hello, Steven. Hello, everyone. I'm doing great. Everything's a blessing, taking day by day,
That's right.
enjoying each moment that we have.
Beautiful, beautiful. First and foremost, just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here with you. Thank you for, volunteering your time to speak with us and being willing to share a bit of your story.
No, I want to thank you for, allowing me to, you know, empathize my story and not really, like I said, I like to say it's not a story; it's more of a journey. So
Hmm.
I'm happy to be here, and this is like, something I've been looking forward, the last couple of weeks to, touch base with you and just see where this goes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I definitely want to first give you an opportunity to, introduce yourself, a little bit about what you do, um, give some gratitude to anybody who's may have been helped you out along the journey. So tell the people a bit about who you are. Who is Clark Valery?
So basically, I'm Clark. I'm from New York. Um, I'm currently working as a manager at a local pharmacy. I'm also a firefighter, and not only that, I'm a outgoing type of guy.
Hmm.
I like having fun and enjoying the outdoors and just making the best of my life according to what I believe that's the best. And a few people that out there, I want to thank a lot of my day one people who have been following me along my journey and the support system, like me joining different various programs as we touch, later. We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
I want to talk about, reach out to the people who are having issues. Tune in. You might learn something. You might, be inspired.
absolutely, absolutely. And it does anyone specifically come to mind? Anyone specifically come to mind that you would just want to take the time to be a bit grateful for, show a bit of gratitude?
Um, yeah, a few people. There's a few people like the people out there like Erica, who's one of my coaches, who inspires me each week, every
Yes.
Saturday, because she has good, lessons to give to me, and it gives me the impact to show other people that it's possible. There's also Jose St. Victor, who's a really
Yeah.
inspirational person for me.
Shout out to Saint Vic.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then lastly, there's like I said, my day ones. Even people like Ted Renee, who we talk on the phone, and he's very, very inspirational person who you know got me to be where I am now. So
I love that. I love that. And so you mentioned how you're a volunteer firefighter, you're a manager at a local pharmacy, so you're very involved in the local community, and you've recently gone through a major life-changing journey. And so can you tell us a bit about that journey?
so that journey was being overweight, being at my highest, which is 395 pounds,
Mm.
coming from being that heavy, and over a 15-month span, I dropped down to a significant amount of weight, which is close to 175 pounds.
Wow. 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 So I want to ask you, what was the turning point? that made you commit to this transformation journey? Like, what was that moment where it clicked for you that says, hey, you know what, I'm gonna take these steps to go about this journey?
I believe that turning point was when I had that conversation with one of my nieces,
Mm-hmm.
and she, you know, said to me like, "Hey, she wants to see me down the road, not the way I am now. She wants to see a different person in me because she believes that person that's inside of me, it's in there, and the fact that, you know, I'm not getting any older. No, I'm getting older, but I'm not getting any younger, I should say.
Yeah.
And knowing the fact that not being younger comes to a moment to say, hey, these kids are growing older with me, but I might not last as much with, being with them. Why not make it the best
Mm-hmm.
instead of making it the worst?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so you have this conversation with your niece, and I really appreciate you sharing that, because something that I believe is that oftentimes those who are younger than us can give us a lot of insight, can give us a
Yeah.
lot of game, can help put things into perspective for us.
Mm-hmm.
So their input is very valuable.
Yes.
I definitely believe. So I appreciate you sharing that your niece was a huge motivating factor in just saying, hey, I'm going to make this journey. I'm going to go on this journey. And so how did you start to mentally prepare yourself? Because we hear about people losing weight, and especially around this time of the year, we're in the middle of January.
Mm-hmm.
New Year's resolutions is people make those when the year turns.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes people have the idea of wanting to make a major change, but then they may stumble along the way, or they may struggle with even starting. So how did you start to mentally prepare yourself for the first steps?
So not necessarily started like January 1st, like most people will say New Year's resolution. That was not the intention. It was just that moment where I just sat down and said to myself, where am I going with this? Am I going to stick with being overweight and possibly die of a heart attack, a stroke, or even worse, contract diabetes?
Mm-hmm.
So I said to myself, wait, what am I supposed to do in life? Like, is this who I really am, or am I a person who needs to compete with other people who are big and then just say hope for the best and not die?
Mm.
So I said to myself, okay, now this is your time.
Yeah.
This is your time to shine,
Yes,
and
sir.
this is your time to make a difference for yourself. Not only yourself, inside of you, but the people that are around you who love you are gonna know that it's your time. This is your moment. This is your glory. This is your roses. The only thing that's holding you back is yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's a big one right there. Like, the only thing that's holding you back is yourself, because you know through our organization, what we really love to do is open up spaces for conversation around difficult topics, a lot of which surround the way we think, and the way how our actions are a product of the way we think, and how we can take certain steps to improve the way we think, which now improves the decisions that we make. So you talking about how the only roadblock is yourself, it's a huge mental game. I'm sure as you've been along your journey, there's been a
Yes.
whole lot of feelings, and people don't see that on the outside. Like, people don't see the feelings of just going through something, of dedicating to something day to day to day to day, especially on those days when I'm sure you may have not been as encouraged. So I want to ask, like, how did you stay mentally resilient during some of those more challenging moments on the journey?
Well, one thing that kept me going is just having that aspect of knowing if I don't do this, what would happen to me later?
Mm.
And knowing what's later, I don't know what's going to be later. And I don't want to know what's later. I just want to make sure that I get this done.
Yeah.
And just knowing that each week was a different outcome, a different victory, a different celebration, it made me go further. Saying, what is the next celebration going to be about?
Yeah.
What's the next, gift that comes along the way of doing what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we sell ourselves short by saying we're gonna get to this goal, we're gonna get to where we need to be, and we forget to celebrate the things that we accomplish along that way.
On the way, yeah. Wow. What about like when, let's say, progress feels slow? Let's say if did you more so monitor the progress or something like that, or and then like when it felt like, hey, I might not be doing as well as I thought, and then those feelings start to come up. Like, how did you manage that and navigate that?
So in the beginning, I can completely testify saying that yes, I felt discouraged. I felt like I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna be able to accomplish this, and a little voice whispered in my ear saying, "Why are you stopping? Don't stop. This is something that you need to prove for not only to others, because it's not about others, but it's about you proving to yourself that you can do what you need to do. Because if you don't prove to yourself that you can do something, it's gonna be like a disappointment. Because when a wise person once said to me, says, "Who you are is who I am according to your reflection." And then when you're that person reflection, I'm just like, what do you mean? You're you, I'm me. I don't see no reflection when you're in this aspect. But once you dig deep on what that person said, reflection, you see them saying, anything you do, I'm giving it back to you. So cherish what you see that you're getting back, because this is what you're giving out to us. So if you're going to give us negativity, we're going to give you negativity. But if you give us positivity and knowing that you can grasp that positivity and grow from that positivity, you're going to conduct something that's going to change your life, change other people's lives. Because, yeah, I lost weight, correct. But it inspired other people to do the same. So my one step became a bigger step for somebody else.
Yeah. That's a huge thing, because a lot of people sometimes need to see that it's possible, and it's so important to see that. And that's why I really appreciate you bringing up those words about reflection and how we reflect one another, and how, our life experience is kind of like a reflection. If we give life negativity, life gonna give us negativity right back.
Exactly.
And if we give it positivity, gratitude, confidence, is gonna give us confidence, gratitude, and positivity right back. And being able to see that in one another. So shifting the way we talk to one another, shifting the way, we reflect with one another. All of that goes into how, we tackle our own challenges.
Correct.
Really.
Yeah, and not only that, just like for me,
Yeah.
I'm more seeing in believing. Like if I see someone say, hey, like for example, watching TV or watching television, if I see someone who lost weight on TV, I'm gonna sit there and I'm like, did they really lose that weight, or is it a camera generated, or did they do surgery, or did they do something to get to that point?
Yeah.
So I'm just like other people. When people, they last saw me, it was October 2023. They're like, okay, you're a heavyset person. Good luck with that. And now they see me now. They're like, oh, shoot, what did you do? Did you do the surgery? Did you do the shots? Did you do what aspect did you do to make sure that you got to where you are now? And I just simply said, I worked hard, I stayed dedicated, and I stayed focused.
Wow. Okay. So through the weight loss journey, one of the communities, I also strongly believe in community. Community is very, very important. That's part of what we want to build through this organization as well. You were part of the Weight Watchers community as well.
Yes.
So how did the Weight Watchers, how does Weight Watchers emphasize community support?
If they provide different tools, they would say, that gives you the ability to learn from each other, educate each other, and just grow with each other. And when you have all those atmospheres, like they give you the app, they give you the foods. They don't even give you foods. They give you the liberty to pick what foods you want, but you got to be disciplined in knowing what to eat and what not to eat at the time. You can you can call your neighbor who is gonna cook a big, like, large point meal, or you can call one of your friends who's in your Weight Watching community and say, hey, what do you recommend for me to have, that's low point? And you can be like, okay, you give them to them, or they give it to you. You do what you want to do, and that builds growth. And that building that growth builds so much wonders for me, because, like, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Because once you feel that you're alone in a journey, then you get lost in that journey and you don't know how to get out. But once you get that community, like the Weight Watcher community, I love them, because, like, it's not just where I live; it's all over the place. There's people in Vegas. There's people in, and San Diego. There's people in Washington State, Washington D.C. You name it. There's someone there that could actually, lend a hand. It's just like the fire community. Me being a firefighter, I could go to D.C. and tell a person I'm a firefighter, and the first thing they do is here's a fist bump, or here's a high five, or they'll be, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
It's a community that grows, and it's not only in one place; it's everywhere.
So, something you mentioned was how, you can look at someone, your neighbor, who's making like this large meal, or you can connect with, someone from the community, and they can, support you, give you ideas and things like that, as to help you along that way. Now, we both are from Haitian descent.
Yeah.
Now, you know that Haitian food good, bro. You know that
No
Haitian
question.
food good,
No
bro.
question about it.
I gotta ask this: have you cut a lot of the Haitian food out, or like have you found ways to kind of like implement it into the point system?
So, I gotta give hats off to my late mother.
Mm.
She taught me everything about cooking, making foods correctly, having the well seasoned, making sure that it's prepared the right way. Everyone will tell you she was the best cook out there. Okay?
Yeah.
They said they had her food. It's like the best. I'll be thankful if she. I know she's looking down at me saying, my food's good." But the one thing that I always learned from her, she goes, "There's ways around it."
Mm.
And there's ways around it by saying you can still have the same joy, the same taste. But with Weight Watchers, they say that you can have substitution. And have that substitution saying, okay, instead of having this that's going to worth you a lot of points, you can make the same kind of idea and be the same flavor. Same, it's like, it's hard to believe, but yeah, I still eat the same Haitian foods that I normally have, but instead of having, for example, Haitian patties, I would look at a Haitian patty, I could eat, like, back in the days, like 10, 15 Haitian patties all throughout a whole week.
I don't blame you, bro.
Yeah.
A week? That's a long time, man.
No, but
Them
I'm saying,
patties be going quicker than that.
Listen, you don't know how my household goes. It will go. But knowing that it's 10 points for Weight Watchers, it's like, okay, how do I make sure that I can still get the same satisfaction and still not go overboard? So someone in one of my workshops said, hey, the first bite is always like this last bite. And I'm like, when she said that, it didn't hit me until it resonated in me later, saying, like, I can have one Haitian patty. It's still the same taste after having 12 of them or 13 of them, maybe 15 of them. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me just have that one Haitian patty. And that's going to be good. Instead of having, grill, I'm not going to have, a whole Tupperware worth of grill, but I'm just gonna have maybe 2 or 3 pieces of it. It's the same thing, plantains, fried plantains. But I pay the come on, you gotta talk about.
You get me hungry, bro.
Listen, I'll get myself hungry too.
Man.
But instead of having a whole dish of it, just have one or two. It's the same feeling. So that community taught me, like, you don't need a big platter. You just need just enough to say, I got some, or I got a little taste of it.
Wow. So it sounds like a lot of the, I guess, the tools and even just kind of the mental application of it is moderation,
Yes.
portion control.
Yes.
And that kind of transfers into many different stages of our lives because there's so many different things that we do. But I heard a quote by I was watching an interview with Nipsey Hussle one time, and he said anything in excess becomes a liability now. And when we think about food, that was one of the things that I had to like recognize too. Is like, yo, I overeat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Your eyes are as bigger than what you actually see.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
So really, just kind of retraining our mind goes a really long way in being able to navigate the challenges of, hey, like you said, I want some grill right now. I want some banan peze. You know what I'm saying? I want some pickles on the side.
Yeah.
But instead of having the whole platter, let me just get a few pieces.
Exactly.
To now discipline myself and support the changes from a mental standpoint.
Yeah, because like you can still eat like one thing I love about Weight Watchers, you can still eat what you normally eat, but just make sure that you eat accordingly. If it tells you to eat, like, if it says it's 5 points for a cup, don't go for 3 cups to get yourself up to 5. You get 5 cups after doing for 5, that's 25. And you're like, oh shoot, I have no more points for the day. Just have that 5 just to be satisfied and say, hey, you know what? At least I had it.
Yeah.
During Thanksgiving, instead of having a big plate and have a, Thanksgiving coma, you're just gonna have that little plate. You still have everything that's on the plate, but you know what? It's less than points.
Yeah.
But you still could say, at least I tried the mac and cheese. And sometimes like I said, we see the mac and cheese and we try to take a bite and like, this is not even good. But you know what? It's still on my plate, so I take a lot. So I gotta eat it just to satisfy the person who made it. But if you just take a little bit and be like, okay, it's cheesy, but it's still good.
Yeah, that's a great point you make, though. Those are a lot of great points. Even just the thought process of after we have that plate, even if it's not hitting all that weight, we still want to eat it to be respectful too. Yeah. And we got to take on that. We got to take that on because we're the one eating it.
You take on that weight.
Yeah, quite literally.
Exactly.
Wow, that's very interesting. I love just how the connections between, how we think about what we eat translates into how we live.
Yeah.
Honestly, how we live. So when you think about the progress you've made so far, we know that you've been able to, change your mental around the food. And I want to ask you a bit, just like, how has that shifted in a transition to like the other aspects of your life?
Well, it changed my appearance, of course. It changed my way of life, of like knowing that being someone who's with low self-esteem, who didn't really think that they could accomplish anything, to being, listen, I accomplished this and there's still more to come. And it's not like, I tell people, I'm not here to be cocky. I'm not here to be arrogant. I'm here to live a life that, that was granted to me. And that was, this is my gift. Let me live my life for the way I need to be attended for. You live your life, I live my life. But at the end of the day, if we touch base together, we'll break bread together. We will make things happen together. Things happen for a reason. Maybe my time was not 30 years ago. My time was not 35 years ago. But now, it's my time now. Let me live that time now.
Yeah, to the fullest.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So what surprised you the most about yourself during this journey? Either physically or emotionally? Like, what really surprised you the most?
The ability to like showcase inspiration. So I didn't know, just by me being where I was before and then transforming myself to where I am now, which is still continue to transform, inspires others. because I I hear all the time when people say, you know what, you're going to the gym inspired me to go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But then I look at that person and I'm like, but you were going to the gym before, but now you're going harder. Why are
Mm-hmm.
you going harder when I was the one who was never going as hard as you were going? Suddenly goes to the gym and now you want to go beyond me. But that's like how life is. You can't just settle for one aspect of your life. You got to go beyond your means.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to inspire maybe one person or inspire thousands or millions. For me, I'm inspiring like maybe hundreds, maybe thousands.
For now.
Whoever follows me, follows me. But
Yeah.
guess what? I didn't follow others to please others. I'm here to please myself.
Yeah. That's big. That's big. And that's a really big theme for me. Just in my personal life, just living a life that I can be proud of, living a life that I can be happy with. Because, the reality of this life experience is at some point, we going to get that call. It's going to be our time to go. It's
Yeah.
going to be our time to transition. And we don't know when that time is going to happen. So we have to be willing, I strongly believe we have to be willing to presently live an experience that we are happy with. Because if in the event our number gets called, like, are we going to allow it to be a peaceful transition?
Exactly.
So in the time that we do have now, let's do those things that will allow us to, just enjoy the life that we have, to appreciate the life that we have right now.
Like they always said, live for the moment.
Live for the moment. The moment is it's really all we have. Like, I hear this quote all the time, like, the time is always now. Like, anytime you check your watch, we might see the numbers on the watch, but that's kind of sometimes throws us off. The time is always now. In 5 days, if you're sitting at that present moment, it's gonna be now. 10 years ago, that moment was now. And so even just being willing to appreciate the moment right now.
And you don't know what's going to happen. You just have no clue. You can sit back and say, okay, I'm here today. Tomorrow, I could be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
One of my influencers had a Zoom call earlier today and said, what's the worst that could happen? And to me, I was like, what is the worst that can happen? Just go for what you need to do. Because if you can't live for that moment, you can't live for that goal, you can't live for that journey, then why even try? Just go for it. Just, if something wrong goes wrong, guess what? You can always go back. You can always go back to home base. You can always go back to where you started, or you don't have to choose to go back to where you started. You can go somewhere else. As long as you know that you're able to get up, brush yourself off, and just fight that journey, then you're fine.
So really, that resilience,
Yeah.
being willing to bounce back,
Yeah.
being able to bounce back.
And if you're not able to bounce back, guess what? Find ways to bounce back. Find motivation where suits you best to get that motivation. Whether it's watching a motivation speaker, or some people say watching Rocky, or watching, like your superhero that you look up to. Find that source. And when you find that source, things will turn around and just say, you're here. Like you said, this is your now. Like John Cena said, my time is now, right?
Yeah.
So that means your time is now. That means you conquer your time. Enjoy your time. Love it. Worship your time.
So what are some of the ways that you have been loving your time now? What are some of the things you've been doing that?
Well, not even me loving my time, like even receiving things that unexpectedly has happened, like being featured in a commercial. I would never think I would be in a commercial, but shout outs to Weight Watchers for providing that. Even with Weight Watchers providing a billboard, who would have thought I would be on a billboard out of all places, Times Square?
Yeah.
That's something big. I would never think I would be on a billboard for Times Square, and it's a moving billboard.
So you talk about, being featured in a commercial, being featured in a billboard, seeing these things like happen for you. And a lot of people might think, yo, you've made it. That you've reached your goal. And many people assume that the hard part is done once you reach your goal. So I want to ask you, how have you been able to stay grounded as you've seen some of the results of, the fruits of your labor?
So what's funny is I have not reached my goal yet.
Mm,
Okay, my goal has not
really?
reached to that point. I have I like to say, Harry, I have not reached the top yet. But the one thing is, I know I gotta still continue doing what I do. Yes, I celebrated the small victories, which is very important. Celebrating the small victories got me to go further.
Yeah.
It got me to push further. It's like a tournament. Yes, I just came from the qualifiers to the semifinals. Now I'm on to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? These finals will lead me to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And that's once I get to that bigger picture, I don't know when that's gonna happen, but I still got to make it to those finals in order to get to the bigger tournament.
Yeah.
It's like when I wrestled back in high school. We got county meet. Then once you go to the county, then you got state qualifiers.
Yeah.
When you get to state qualifiers, you got to qualify to be in states. And once you qualify to states, you got to go through all this tournament just to win states. So right now, I'm in that, state qualifier moment, which I'm about to hit those finals and be, potentially a state champion.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of time and dedication and like thought process. But you know what? It's coming. But once it comes, we gotta see we gotta see the outcome.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds really like to what we were talking about before about like how really staying in the moment and using this moment right now to keep you grounded so that hey, I've achieved a lot. I've made it to the state qualifiers, but I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
There's still more to come. There's
Exactly.
still more we got to work on.
Exactly, because like you can't just I can't just settle say, hey, you know what? I'm on a commercial. I'm done. Because I could have said that when the commercial came out, I could have been like, yeah, I'm done. I did a commercial. I'm good. But no, once I did that, I get a phone call. Hey, we got a surprise for you in the city. I go to the city. There's a billboard. Whoa! I was like, wait, I did not know this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, there's ads that are popping up on Facebook, on Instagram, saying that, hey, he lost weight. Invited a friend. There's a billboard for that, and I'm like, okay, I got news articles from different news articles that came through, like from Business Insider, from
Wow.
Yahoo, AOL. All these people are reaching out to me, asking me questions, and I'm like, okay, not I'm like, do these guys know that I'm not even at a goal yet, but I'm still making. I'm showing my face.
Yeah.
And it's just like when it comes to the point to that very end, who knows? It might be a TV show, it might be a movie. Who knows? I don't know. But you just gotta continue going and enjoy that ride, enjoy that cruise. Because guess what? If I sat back a year ago and said I'm not gonna do this because I feel discouraged, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Yeah, that's big because that makes me think of something that I heard where it's like where we are now is like the result of past decisions.
Yes.
And where we end up is a result of decisions we make right now.
Yes.
So, just really going back to that same conversation of, embracing the moments and being mindful of our moments, how we respond in those moments. You saying a year ago that you wanted to dedicate yourself to this journey. And then a year later, here we are. Like,
you don't know what's going to happen. Exactly. Like,
yeah.
Like for me, I guess, like I said, for me, I'm like sitting here like, okay, a year ago, I'm like, I'm just doing this for me. And whatever happens, happens. Did I set a number in stone to say, hey, I'm going to lose X, Y, Z amount of weight? No, that was never the thought process. It was just
Mm.
like, I'm just going to lose this weight and call it a day. Now I see myself in billboards saying 127. People, who saw the billboard or saw the ads or their friends are forwarding them the message saying, yo, have you seen Clark? This is him in the billboard. This is Clark in a magazine. This is Clark here. No one knew this was going to happen. I didn't even know it was going to happen. But guess what? It was me not giving up on myself and being resilient and saying, I got this. This is my time. This is my now moment. And this is what is going to come out of it. Because if I wouldn't know this is going to come out of it, I wouldn't believe it back then. But you know what? I lived through the moment, and this is what's happening. This is my gift. And then, you know what? The gifts are keep on going. It's the endless Christmas.
That's a fact. And I love how you say, like, if you would have known back then, you wouldn't have even believed it. So it's kind of like the journey itself is confirmation of where we are now.
Yeah.
Like, as we make decisions to better ourselves, as we make decisions to really change the way we live, because like you said, you can put a number on it. It was a lifestyle change that you really committed to. And that's, I noticed from my just personal observation, that's one of the hardest things to do, to make actual lifestyle changes. Anybody could put a number on the board, hit that number, and then celebrate about the number. How do you react after you hit that number? How do you move? How do you live? And so really having that lifestyle change afterwards.
It's like, it's funny how you mentioned that. Because, like, I remember 2 years ago when I seen you and we talked.
Yeah.
You saw me as being like, okay, overweight. You never judged me, never created any animosity, but you saw me. We had that respect. We had respect for each other. Then a year and a half later, you see me at an event. I remember seeing your face. You did one of these, like, you're just like, wait, what just happened? Like, a year and a half ago, I seen this guy at 395 pounds, but you didn't know it was 395 pounds, but just to put a number out there, you saw 395, and then you was like, oh, snap. And you came up to me and said, yo, what did you do?
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember that event that you were talking about from a couple of years ago. It was a community event through the pharmacy.
Yes.
And so just, again, we from the same town. And it's a very tight-knit community. So, like, have you been getting that reaction a lot?
Yeah, like, my best reaction is, you're Clark. We know you're Clark. But the only way we know you're Clark is because of your voice. You have a significant voice. We know your voice. But if it wasn't for your voice and you were just standing in front of us, we would never know you were Clark. Because it happens so fast. And that's how you know, like, I started this journey October 2023. To come back a year later or 15 months later to say, no surgery, no shots, all natural weight loss, and be like, are you the same person? But you're the same person because you still have the same heart.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is, your appearance looks different.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that too, that you just said, like, you are the same person because you have the same heart. Like, that's another really big thing I've noticed. Sometimes people, they make it and then their heart, like, shifts. They start thinking they're better than other people, or they start looking down upon other people, or they start just moving in a certain way that doesn't carry the same heart that they did before.
What made, going upon that,
Yeah.
the biggest thing that caught my attention or resonates on me when it's about my heart was watching Captain America. If you're not familiar with Captain America, there's that scene where he's in that transformation chamber. And before he was about to be transformed from being a skinny, grunky little guy to being muscular, the nurse goes up to him and says, do me one favor. This life will change your life by being where you are going to be now. But do me one solid favor. And the solid favor is don't change your heart. And when she said that, it made me realize, like, people change themselves to fit in, do whatever they want to do, be like the biggest, baddest of them all. But for me, I can't do that. I have a heart. I have a person who's desired to help others, inspire others, give back to others. So why would I want to change all that glory just because I'm different? I look different. I look better. No. In the same way I said before, that reflection from that one person, individual who said it to me, made me realize if I'm your reflection, if I'm your reflection and you're my reflection, we can work hand in hand to make sure that other people see what they need to see and not see something that is not there. You know, it's not. I'm facing that mirror. I'm not that evil witch or evil wizard that's in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's who I'm supposed to be. Like I'm that evil. No, I'm pure. I'm cool. I'm a relaxed person. You know, even looking at my reflection now, I'm like, I still see, the big size person, but knowing what I look like now, I look completely different.
Yeah. I bet that's like a culture shock sometimes, like looking in the reflection.
It reminds me of family members with Steve Urkel. Okay,
Yeah.
Steve Urkel goes in the transformation chamber. He's Stefan Urkel, and like it's a
Yeah.
totally different person. But like this is reality. I'm I'm the Stefan Urkel that Steve Urkel wanted to be,
Mm.
but I still have the same genuine heart.
Mm-hmm.
I might have the body different, but my heart is always going to be pure and the same.
Yeah. And that makes me think of a quote I heard where it says like the highest human act is to inspire. The
Right.
highest human act is to inspire. When I heard that, it's like in order to inspire people, we have to be willing to live from the heart. And I remember something I was told in a training by a woman. She said, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. So when you're living out this life experience and really just appreciating all the things and really just keeping that same heart and speaking from the heart and living from the heart, that helps you to inspire other people in a genuine way, not with material things. Because, we live in a world where, the shiny things are what's put in front of us.
Yep.
But the things that I like to call like spiritual currency, like confidence, self-esteem, like feeling good, love. Those are things that you can't put a price tag on.
Yeah.
Not a real price tag on. And so moving in that way is really affecting people to now positively change their life situations.
Yeah. And not even that. Even like me, for example, is I look at myself as inspiration. Like I inspire myself to be like, okay,
Wow.
if I can do this, what's the next thing I can do? What's the next thing I can tackle? Like I'm able to push myself to be like, this journey helped me realize I have what it takes. I'm not taking no for the answer, and that's not no from a boss, not from a parent or a brother or a friend. I'm not taking no for myself because a lot of us have that intuition saying, I gotta say no to myself. I can't do this. I'm not able to do that. Once you have that mindset to say that you limit yourself to doing what you want to do, you're not going to move forward. You got to clear your mind and say, yes, I'm going to do this. Because along the way that you say yes to what you're going to do, lots of rewards will come your way. And you'll be like, wow, if I would have just said no, this would never happen. But for the fact that I said yes, I'm able to make it to the next level. Or, in the next level, you might have more obstacles, but you're saying to yourself, yes, I still can do it.
Yeah. Because now you have that mindset shift that you can do it. And then on top of the mindset, you have the tools that you learned along the way to help you and support you as well.
Which is important. That's why, going to the meetings is very important. Because if you don't go to a meeting, you're missed out on, valuable things.
So I definitely just again want to express my deep, deep gratitude, brother, just for taking the time to share a bit of your story, but also for you going along that journey. Again, sometimes people just need to see that it's possible. Sometimes people just need to see an article about someone who was able to lose, you know, I mean, the article says 127, but on how much is it now, would you say?
I'll say like 175 ish.
175. Okay.
Yeah, but like here's the thing: actions are like the actions that I did
Mhm.
was never seen because like people
Mm.
just like I said, I stayed away from the lights.
Yeah.
I stayed in the dark, and I worked in silence,
Mhm.
as I always say. And me working in silence helped me capitalize on what I needed to do.
Mm.
Because everyone has that intuition saying, I got to show everyone that this is what I did. Like if you go on my Instagram, you'll see like I was pretty much in good shape when I did the Instagram, but then I'm in a little bit better shape to a current picture. Where did you lose that weight in between?
Mhm.
I'm not about showing you the beginning. I'm showing you the now factor now.
And now,
So if you
yeah.
follow me now, you're seeing what's going on now, not what happened in the past. Yeah, there was a journey along the way, but you don't need to see that journey. You just have to know, like, okay, he did something, and let me find out for myself and how to do it myself. You need to find those tools because there's not enough. You can't say you got like these 4 tools and you think you can structure yourself being successful. You got to get tools from every aspect of every part of your life, and then you put it in that toolbox and work with it to build what you need to build yourself on.
Mm. Whew. You cooking right now, V. You giving the
Oh,
good word. You giving the real good
listen, it's
word.
cook. That's what I like to do. Man. I like to cook. I told you my mom taught me well. She taught me well with the cooking.
Hey, shout out to moms, man. And so, at this stage, when you take a moment to just appreciate where you are now, what is some advice that you would offer to someone who may feel stuck or struggling to make the first steps towards their goal?
So one bit of advice is, if you're gonna, let's say that you want to go to the gym and you're too nervous to go to the gym, drive up to the gym, park your car.
Mm.
The next day, drive up to the gym, do the same thing. So you have the courage to get out the car, then get out the car.
Mm-hmm.
Take those steps again to get it to the gym, get out the car. Then the following week, get out the car. You park the car, you get out the car, now go to the door. Now, in a few weeks, get out, do the same thing over and again. Pull the door, try to go in, sign up for a membership. Once you sign up for that membership and you're in the gym and you start pumping that iron, then you know you're there, you made it. It doesn't have to take a week, it doesn't have to take 2 weeks, but take it step by step.
Mm.
And then not only that, gather all the tools that you can possibly get to build yourself. Because once you get all those tools and you able to find out where the what's it called, the wrench goes here, the screwdriver is right here, this works for this. Once you get all those things put together, you will transform yourself to a better person who you, not like I said, not for you, not for and that person, or that person. You got to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Once you got to be happy for yourself and love yourself to the point where I did it for me, and I'm gonna enjoy whoever wants to celebrate with me. Celebrate with me. If you don't want to celebrate with me, guess what? I'm still gonna be happy with myself.
That's it. Brother, I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you more, my
Yo,
friend.
love, love, love. So much love. I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch, to feel inspired by your story. And there's more to come.
There's always more to come.
There's
Like I said, listen, if you sit back and say a commercial is the only thing, and then be on a billboard, then be featured on their Instagram, listen, it's endless possibilities. And like I said, I still haven't hit my goal yet. And to
That's
be
crazy to
featured
think about.
and just be featured on a billboard, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, he made his goal at 127." And no, I didn't hit my goal. I
They don't
still got
even
more
know.
to go.
They don't even know.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. And again, I just want to say thank you. Where can the people who want to get in touch with you, that want to maybe follow you on any social medias, where can they follow you?
You can find me on the Instagram at Fit and Fighting Fires. That's on Instagram. Hopefully, you can put the link on the
Yeah, I got
page.
you. I got you. We'll take
You
care of all
know,
of that for you,
yeah.
bro.
But yeah, you will find. You know, if you have any questions, hit me up. I'm an open book. Just follow. You know, there's no subscriptions, so
No
it's free.
subscription.
Not yet though,
Yeah.
but follow.
Understood.
Just follow. Just
Yeah.
send me a message. You have a few questions. I'm open to answer anything.
All right. Again, I appreciate you, brother.
Anytime. I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
No doubt, man.
I'm one phone call away. And no, I don't mean call the fire department because I don't want to be responding to your house. And
Yeah, not
you
that
know,
type of phone call. Not
no,
that
not
type of
that. No.
call. Nah.
But listen, I also want to say, my prayers go out to the people in California who are fighting the fires.
Yes. Yes.
This is the time that we all got to stick together as brothers and sisters
Yes.
because those fires are tremendously not the greatest. But you know what? Fighting a fire myself, and that's the fire inside of me to know that I can take out this fire and make sure that it spreads to being positivity,
Yeah.
inspirational, and have lots of passion and driven. So thank you for having me here, and I really do appreciate you.
Of course.
And hopefully we can do another, collaboration
I'm looking
down the
forward
road.
to it, brother. I'm looking forward to it. And with that, I just want to say thank you again to everybody that's taken the time to watch, to just share, to follow, to stay up to date. We love you. We appreciate you. This is the Thoughts of an Empath podcast, and we look forward to seeing you again.